Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television and Board Game Today. I'm Brett. We're doing a dual video for both sites because what we're going to talk about applies to both of them. As much as I love comics, I like games, I also love me some toys. And the love of various hobbies have come together in the line of McFarlane Toys, Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000 line, which are finally here. McFarlane has hooked us up with the initial launch, and I'm really excited to go over all of them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the first 4 releases, just kind of talk generally my thoughts about it all. And then we're going to do individual unboxings of every single release, which should be kind of fun, because there are some variations on everything. So, for those who don't know, Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000 line seems to be the hot ticket for licensing right now. There's recently a Marvel Comics release. They've had some Funko Pops released. There's all sorts of branding of Warhammer 40,000 and various other Games Workshop properties on other games and toys. Behind me, somewhere, is it hidden? Right there, we got the Bandai figure, which cost a whopping $100. It's a really expensive figure. And for those who have seen my previous videos, no, I was not impressed by that. Over that figure. I thought the figure felt a little chintzy, especially for the $100. So I've been really looking forward to McFarlane Toys releases because McFarlane does some amazing stuff. You know, obviously, Todd McFarlane, creator of Spawn, really revolutionized the toy line as a whole and the toy industry, and has been putting out stuff ever since that's been just jaw-dropping. So the fact is, I figured we're probably going to get a higher quality figure at a lower price point. Now, I've seen these figures go for about $20 to $24, depending on what you get. And we're going to kind of go through all of them. And so far, I'm impressed just looking at these. These are really, really cool figures in the boxes. And I have to say, this Space Marine, so this is a Warhammer 40,000 Primaris Space Marine, the painted version. This is Assault Intercessor. Comes with a heavy bolt pistol and a chainsword for the Astartes. So the thing that's impressive on this is heavy. This has actually got some girth to it. It feels like a pretty weighty figure, way heavier than the Bandai figure, which just kind of felt like cheap plastic. But this has got some decent weight to it, which I think is really kind of impressive to me. The other thing I think is really interesting is that the first 2 figures, there's a Necron Warrior, which we'll talk about in a second. Really 4 figures, but 2 main painted figures. The 2 figures have been predominantly spotlighted in the relaunch, or not really relaunch, but the release of the 9th edition of Warhammer 40,000. So McFarlane has clearly been working very closely with Games Workshop, and Games Workshop has been thinking through what they want to release through this line, because the figures are really kind of lining up with certain releases, which I think is really, really interesting. These figures come directly from the cinematic video that they did to launch the 9th edition. So first off, I gotta say, the details of this figure is really, really impressive. It's got some weight to it. It's actually pretty heavy. We got the just chapter symbols, everything. This just looks like an impressive figure. For $20, I'd be very, very happy with this. To just even put it on my shelf and never do anything else with it. The box, I think, is really nice. Some good artwork on it. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this. I think this is a pretty cool figure to start with, and I'm really happy with it. The Necron Warrior does not have the weight of the Space Marine, which I think is kind of fun and interesting. It's going to be fun really comparing the two and getting them out of the box. But the detail of it is really cool. You got the kind of the guts coming out on it. You got a scarab with it. It comes with the Gauss flare. And overall, it's a undead skeletal space zombie type creature. And one of the main villains that Games Workshop's kind of pushing right now, one of the armies that they're pushing, is one of the forces that come in the 9th edition. And the figure's pretty nice. The Necrons, I think, never quite struck me. I think I like the concept better, I think, than the actual execution. And the details on the figure, I think, kind of fall into that for me. It's a nice figure, don't get me wrong at all. But I think what really kind of stands out to me is when you look at the details of it, this is a figure you really have to pay attention to and really get close to I think, appreciate it on my initial look. The painting kind of shows a lot of wearing. There's a lot of marks, a lot of scuffs on it. We'll talk about that more when we'll do the unboxing of it. But this is a figure I think, not as impressive as the Space Marine, but there's a lot to it that I think will probably go unnoticed. So my initial on this was kind of but the more I've been looking at it, more really been examining this figure, I think it's been growing on me is kind of the best way of describing it. Now, what's really kind of cool is Games Workshop's hobbies are all about painting your own figures, and McFarlane is taking that up on their own and allowing you to do that. They've got unpainted figures that you can go and do your own thing. They're called the artist-proof figures. This one is the Space Marine Primaris Intercessor with a bolt rifle, similar to the other Space Marine that came out, except it has a different weapon. And you can go out and paint this. And we're going to do some painting with it. I think this is going to be kind of fun. I haven't decided if I'm going to maybe do videos of that, or maybe just do some photos and like Instagram and stuff like that. I think the thing that I'm really kind of wondering is, do I need to prime this? What type of maybe pre-work I need to do that? So I'm gonna go maybe do a little research and try this out. Luckily, I got a couple of these to play with and do some different things. But I think this is gonna be kind of fun to be able to take Space Marine Force and take it from the tabletop and do it on a grander scale. To me, that's going to be a lot of fun and really interesting. So they've got the Space Marine that you can do that with, and then the other is the Necron Warrior, which is just the basic Necron Warrior. It doesn't seem to be any difference between this and the painted version, other than that this is an unpainted version that you can do and get yourself. I'm going to go and give it a shot. I'm going to treat these like Games Workshop figures myself. Go use my Citadel paint, my GW paint, and paint these up and see what happens. Which I think it's going to be kind of cool. I really dig that idea. I think it's very creative. It's kudos to all of them for coming up with that, and I think it's a great way of taking the GW hobby and expanding it to the toy line and really kind of bringing everything together. The other thing I'm kind of expecting of this is I think there's going to be a lot of cool competitions with this at conventions. I can easily see these taking over for miniature competitions and some amazing things being done with it. So I have a feeling there's going to be a run on those from GW fans to do some entries for conventions. So overall, like my initial thought on all this is I love the concept. I think these look really, really great. The Space Marine, the detail on it is top notch. It is heavy figure that really kind of stands out to me. I mean, all these are like between 20 and 25 bucks that you can get them. We'll have some links where you can purchase them underneath this video. So I think the value of them feel pretty good when it comes to toys, because it seems to be about the value, what you're going to get a lot of toys from now, around now, is about that $20, $25 range. The accessories seem to be pretty decent. The figures seem to be pretty decent. Just my initial reaction is I think these seem to be a lot better than the Bandai release, which was way overpriced. I'd rather get 5 of these than 1 of those. I love the concept of the paint your own figures. I think that's brilliant. Really, really cool concept and idea. And I'm looking forward to see what else comes out. They've already shown off more Primaris Space Marines. We're also getting Adeptus Sororitas, Sisters of Battle, which I'm super excited about, because that's an army I am going to be building next, and I'd love to be able to take my tabletop version and build out an actual sister and have a larger version to play with. So yeah, this is... I had high hopes for these figures, and on the initial look, I'm impressed. So right now you can get the Ultramarine Primaris Assault Intercessor with chainsword and bolt pistol. We have the Necron Warrior with Gauss Flare and Scarab. We have the unpainted artist-proof Space Marine Primaris Intercessor, artist-proof with a bolt gun. And then finally the Necron Warrior artist-proof, where you can go paint your own. I think it's going to be exciting. We're going to come back. We're going to do individual unboxings of these main 2 figures. And then I'm going to figure out how to paint the bigger ones. Do I need to prime them? Do we need to do any cleaning of them? I think this is going to be a really, really interesting experiment, and I'm expecting to fail a lot on that. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to go geek out and see how my painting skills have progressed in like a decade of not painting. So, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for watching. We have links underneath this video where you can purchase. Also going to throw out some links to Citadel paints where you can go get those. I primarily really actually only use Citadel paints. It's what I've used from the beginning of doing GW stuff. It's just what I'm used to and what I like. Some of those links are probably going to be affiliate links, not all of them, but the affiliate links, we do get a small percentage of that, and you do that, you help support our site, so thank you. If you want the latest toy news, you can check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. If you want the latest game news, you can check us out at boardgametoday.com. Of course, you can find both sites on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, either Graphic Policy or Board Game Today, keeping it nice and consistent. As always, much appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, Keep it geeky and keep on playing with your toys. Hey, thanks for watching Board Game today. We always appreciate your views and your support, but there are so many ways for you to support our site. Not only can you do it right here on video, but you can go and check us out at BoardGameToday.com, where we have more news, reviews, interviews, everything you could ever want. But since you're here, if you could, you can always give us a like, subscribe, or share our videos or watch something else. Is always much appreciated, and get your game on.